Yeah. Wow. That's cool.
If you guys bring your food and come with me, you guys are gonna have some fun. I'm saying we're gonna come right away.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. What?
Who wants to come?
I just said it. We'll see. Might want to talk to him. We are live, so for whatever it's worth, we are live. I mean, I don't care. Bye, girls. Well, that was fun. I thought I would dress appropriate. I wanted red, but this is the best I could get. Pink. I know it is hot because I'm wearing it. Thank you. I want to look sweet, Dan. I appreciate it. Appreciate that. Yeah.
That's a real man when he can wear pink.
That's right. He's not afraid. He's not afraid. He's a fool. Welcome to our home, Fallbrook the Place. Early Valentine's Day greetings to one and all. There's some little dark chocolate hearts. Make sure you grab 1 or 2 or 6 and stick them in your pocket. They're lovely. I'm telling you, you can only eat about one. They're Dove dark chocolate. They're lovely. And I got dark chocolate because I figured the kids wouldn't want them. That way the adults can have them. Do you know what this means right here? Z in the box. That's what that is. Z in the box. Z is in the pulpit this Thursday night. Come out and give her support. 6:30 p.m. potluck dinner. We're not online. If you can make it, Z will be speaking. She really, really wants the place full. She begged me to promote it. She did. Z. Well, I'm speaking into the spirit realm, not the physical. In her heart. Now she's going to be sharing. Actually, she did this a little while ago. She did her testimony, but she's actually got a little message she's going to share. I believe it's going to be on prayer. It's in the impact it's had in her life. So I think that's the overview of it. But if you can make it, it'd be great. 6:30. There's a potluck thing going on. Z's a hoot. What can I say? And I appreciate her. We're going to a 3-day conference, Deb and I, down in San Diego. So first conference in years. So I'm kind of looking forward to Teen Challenge. You know, it's the one thing that I really get drawn to. The troublemakers. So no, and I like the speakers. There's a couple I love listening to, and so Nicky Cruz will be there. So he's a very good speaker. Obviously, he's the original from the Cross and Switchblade, or whatever heck that book and movie is. So he'll be there. Yeah, he's an old guy. So he'll be there. But I saw him 6 or 7 years ago. He was, man, I mean, he's still fiery. This guy, he got lit up by Jesus. So, and then there'll be a couple others speaking. I like Gary Wilkerson. He's kind of cerebral. It's kind of a neat approach, but there's a lot of spiritual depth to them. David Wilkerson's youngest son. And there's a couple others that I'm unfamiliar with. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. 3 days, San Diego. So we'll be roughing it in Mission Valley. Today's message, a Valentine's message from God. Now, I'm not so audacious to say what I'm saying is from the Lord, but I'll be sharing some scripture. That's the part that's from the Lord. So anyhow, Valentine's Day, also known as St. Valentine's Day, originated as a church holiday on February 14th to honor martyrs of the faith, saints whose names were Valentine or Valentinus. It is believed that the first heart Valentine note was sent by a man named Valentine who was in prison for a girl he loved. You girls, man, you get us in trouble. Valentine's notes have been recorded as far back as the Middle Ages. While the meaning and celebrations of Valentine's Day has changed, it has remained as a special day to shower with love those we hold close. Now, there are other legends as to the start of Valentine's Day. No one knows for sure. There's another one that says on February 14th, women would get slapped across the rear with blood-soaked skins of sacrificed animals from young, naked, or nearly naked men as a fertility rite called Lupercalia. Then the women would be paired off with the men. Then the women would be paired off with the men, and well, you know, Valentine's Day. Now this is how they used to live. If you look at history, back in the Middle Ages, they had some crazy ideas. I mean, some wild ideas. And then if you go back even further, in the time of Christ, they didn't like you, they'd just kill you. They didn't argue with you. They'd just hang you up, put you up on a cross. I'm thinking as we look at history and understand how far we come, it seems like as if our society isn't quite as far out with the ideals as it used to be. We keep picking on society. I don't think it's that bad. I swear I look at the good. I think of all the blessings we have, all the amazing gifts and opportunities. We sang that song, the first song and dance going, that's so true. Reckless Love by Corey Ashbury. I mean, it gets stuck in my mind. He's reckless with his love toward us. That's our focus in life. It's this reckless love of God. Valentine's Day is, after all, now a celebration of the ones we love, friends, family, children, spouses, even workmates or church friends. The giving of a nice note, a taste of chocolate. We have a taste of chocolate over there for you. As a reminder, as a kind reminder of what we are as believers. Here at the place, there was a grand time had with the women decorating yesterday. They were decorating cookies, praying for each other. Debbie shared a timely message. True Valentine's spirit. I mean, just that's what Valentine's Day is. Yeah, it's if you're young and in love. Jimmy, remember your first Valentine's with Jill? Come on. Your first date. Wow.
She still remembers my shoes.
Wow. Were they red, Jimmy?
No, but
They were dandies. Love one another with brotherly affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. This almost sounds like a proverb, doesn't it? This is from the letter Paul wrote to the Romans. Love one another with brotherly affection. This wonderful statement is taken from this letter, addressing an area of living life as a sacrifice. This is where this is from. Loving others above yourself as an example of the love you've received from God. Isn't that what we see as the deeper purpose of this holiday that's coming up? What God's love means to us. I get it. Not everybody's married. I get it. Some people's hearts have been broken. I get it. My heart's been broken. I get it. But don't allow that. Don't allow your scarred heart, like that last song we sang. We all have scarred hearts, but you are loved perfectly by God. Valentine's Day is a wonderful opportunity to remember, the real meaning of love and what it's all about. And then as a church, our friendships, right? We have love that we show each other in ways that is wonderful. being an example for our children, our grandchildren, those we interact with here in church or in our neighborhoods. A moment in time to say, hey, I was thinking about you, and it made me smile. I think about you guys. Sometimes one of you will pop in my mind, and it just makes me smile. It really does. I think, wow, it's kind of cool. I know this person. Who would have thunk? 7 billion people at this time and age, and these people that I know, it makes me smile. It really does. Maybe you at these times you want to share a bit of sweets, a card, a friendly comment, maybe even a buck or two to let you know that I'm so glad I know you. You know, it's okay to open your wallet and give a buck or two. It's just another way of showing love. It's pretty incredible. You think about over the years, occasionally you'll come across somebody and you just have that thing. It's like, oh, and next thing you know, the wallet's out. I got to be careful. I showed it to Dan. He'll grab. No, but it's an incredible thing when God moves on your heart. Because after all, he's the one who put it in there. I know you worked for it, but he's the one who put it in there. See, that's how we change the world for good. We allow the truth that is in the pages of Scripture to impact those we know or those we need to know or who needs to know. God, I keep stepping on these. You know what? There we go. I'll be a little shorter.
No, I spilled it.
He's not been listening.
He's got his pink shirt on. Leave him alone.
All right, where was I at? Let's see. Allow the truth that's in the pages of Scripture to impact those we know or those who need to know that the God who created them loves them. And he shows it through our simple sacrifices. Don't ever shortchange your sacrifice. You're showing God's love. He has truly shown us love that cannot be withheld. His love must be shared. You must share his love. That's the power of love, is sharing it, not just receiving it. I think you receive more love when you share it. It's one of these crazy things. It's like, how can dying bring life? How can blood bring atonement? I mean, there's these things that God does that go opposite to what your normal type thinking would be. But when you share this radical love that God has poured into your heart, and when you desire to do it, that's when you truly, truly receive love. But how do you show this love that's been poured into you? Well, my hope is that on February 14th, it will be a special time for you to express it. Then on February 15th, it will not end, but continue to ramp up, outdoing what you thought was possible. Outdoing what you thought was possible. Allowing God to show you ways to express his brotherly love that's within your heart. Talk to him. Listen to him. He wants you to do this. Man, and you will be the better. Yeah, because we've talked about this before. Not everybody's going to receive your kind act. Some people are going to kind of poo-poo on your goodness. It's just the way it is. But when you give from a heart that God says give, man, and you realize, Lord, I gave this unto you, to this person, unto you through this act, there is an incredible sense of peace, of joy. His brotherly love, creative, kind, fun, special. It's just what is needed in the world you reside in. Your unique love to those who are fortunate enough to know you. Some people are fortunate enough to know you. The psalmist writes, satisfy, one more time, satisfy us in the morning with your unfailing love, that we may sing for joy and be glad all our days. Isn't that nice? Some verses from Proverbs or Psalms stand alone. They might be part of a bigger thought, but can easily be picked out and taken at face value. This is one of these ideas. Such a nice idea. How does God satisfy you? How does the love that abounds from the Creator touch you in such a way that you can sing for joy? What makes you glad every day? Oh, this psalmist, man, he must have had such a nice life to write something like this. Can you grasp the importance of what Moses is writing here? Moses wrote this psalm, Psalm 90. Moses, consider his life and the difficulty he faced, the years of exile, the years of struggle, the rejection. He didn't seem to have a decent go about it until he was over 80 years old. I'm looking around the room. Guess what? There's not one in this room that's 80. Not yet, anyhow.
Don't look at me when you say that.
Well, you're the closest at this point, but you still have a ways to go. But here's the point. Moses didn't even have what you would consider a pretty good day yet. Oh, yeah, he grew up in the house of the Pharaoh, but he didn't really like it. Isn't it interesting that he would pen something like this? What did he know? What did Moses know? Expressing that which is within your heart will do that very thing. Expressing it. How do you feel this? You express it. You can't just think about it. You can't wish for it. You express it. God, your unfailing love is here. Well, things aren't going right in my life and I should complain. No, your unfailing love. I look at the history of what you're doing. Moses would be looking forward to what's going to happen, but believing that the God of the Old Testament is still the God of the New Testament, is still the God of all time. And what he has planned and purposed for someone who's going through struggle. Too often, we spend too much of our life expressing that which is in our mind, our thoughts. And Valentine's Day is a time to remember to express your heart, right? Moses here is reminding us to do it every day. Expressing your heart every day. Start out every day morning. Start out your day every morning or end it in the evening, and it will do that very same thing. Journaling is an incredible way to express. Journaling, writing it down, absolutely committing it to paper or to the computer. I have been getting up every morning since COVID started. And I sit there and I try to come up with a thought. I ask the Lord, what do you got for me today so I can share it, a little morning thing, or I'm working on a message or what have you. But here's the point, is that every morning I'm talking with the Lord and I'm committing to paper some ideas that are good, that are encouraging. Every morning, day in, day out. Every morning, day in and day out. Man, I'm telling you what, you start doing in that your life, it's going to start to freak you out. You see the negative, but you just go, no, man, the positive is so much better. There's so much good. There's so much incredibleness that is waiting for each and every one of us. It's unbelievable what God has prepared for those who love him. How do I be satisfied in the morning? Well, I am satisfied from his unfailing love. Now, I don't get up and sing, but I bet some of you sing. I bet Mara's up singing for joy in the morning. She has a nice voice. I've heard Christina sing. She has a nice voice. Some of the rest of us in here, we have good intentions. Good intentions are fine. There's nothing wrong with a good intention. But I tell you, you want to be satisfied in the morning? Don't look at your situation. Look at this God who loves you. It's unbelievable when you consider how much he's done and is still going to do. Last night, I went to a 60th wedding anniversary. I invited myself. It was for very close friends and family. And I said, I want to go. Well, I didn't know it was going to be a big meal. I thought it was going to be kind of like that open house idea, some like little snacky things. And so I just went and I baked a loaf of bread and I took it to him because I like him. I really have, I've met him a few times. We've had a few meals together. I really like these guys. So I walk in there, and there's tables and plates. I'm thinking, oh boy. I was tired. I went to go kind of, with the idea of the pastor's role. You show up and you big deal people. 60 years married. That's huge. I'll be 104 if that happens, or 103. So I'm not really counting on it. So, but it's a big deal. But they made me feel so welcome. And on more than one occasions, they were just talking. And then Sharon just kept hanging out. She's just a lovely, lovely woman. It's amazing when you do something that you think is the right thing to do for somebody else, how you just walk away blessed. I must have said 6 or 7 times, I'm just crashing the party. I just wanted to come and say, hey, happy anniversary. I've never met anybody who's been married 60 years. You hear about it, but I never been in the room with them. That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, they like each other. This is part of the reason why they like each other. And she said, she was making a comment, and she goes, don't you agree, Joe? Joe goes, yes, I agree with anything you say. Or I agree with everything you say. Not anything. I agree with everything you say. This Valentine's Day is a time to set out on a new adventure, a life-changing one. How do we go about focusing on the good and not the bad? How do we see life from a perspective of love and not distrust or frustration? How do we let the love of God lead us into a lifestyle that loves others, especially those who we might not even like or agree with? Do we need to reinstitute Lupercalia? Or is there a simpler way? Do we need to do it? Lupercalia. Do we need to reinstitute that?
They forgot already.
That's where we take the blood-soaked skins and run around and slap women on the backside. No? We're not going to do that? No, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't think Lupercalia, I think we've grown past that. But that's what society used to do. You think our society's screwed up? Can you imagine waking up, looking outside, going, well, they're at it again, sweetheart. Yeah. And what's worse, the guys running around half naked or naked with these blood-soaked animal skins, or the women out there going, hey, hit me, hit me. There was a fertility rite. They thought it worked. Again, we turn to the writings of Paul. Yeah. So instead of doing that, let's turn to the writings of Paul. Perhaps this man who experienced more strife than just about anyone. Truly, I think Paul, he experienced more strife than just about anyone. Can impress upon us what he would do if he lived this day and age. What's your best advice, Paul? What did God show you about how we are to live our lives satisfied with the unfailing love that God is continuing to pour out? What is the key? I believe this is absolutely the key. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable. It keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but it rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up. Love never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. Often used as a scripture reference for weddings, its real purpose is for the believer. Every time I'm at a wedding and I hear that, I just kind of shake my head. I go, that's not what they're writing it about. It's not the philia, it's not the eros love. That's not what it is. This is agape. This is a whole different meaning. This love that is mentioned is the love of human beings toward each other. That's in this sense, in this Greek writing. It's the love you and I have toward each other, especially of that love, Christian toward Christian. especially that. It's greater there, which is encouraged and prompted by the religion. Whether love be viewed as the soul, as in the soul, or as expressed. In other words, are you showing goodwill? Are you expressing fondness? Think about it. Am I expressed? Yeah, we're snarky. We're all snarky. We are. We know each other so well, and it's kind of cute and clever, and that's fine. But do you express fondness? It's so important. It is so important. Considering and acting upon what is important to someone else. Do you consider and then act upon what's important to someone else? Is that a priority in your life? That's what that means. That's all those. Most importantly, responding to God as he moves in your heart. Do you do that? When he moves? I know you do. But just encouraging for those moments you don't. Somebody want to hand out the abundance of drinks? Christina. Wow.
So much pressure to do that.
And then Dan, if you can come up with an idea. Thank you, my dear. This is how we are to live our lives. Some days will require a reset. As you read this, some days are going to require a reset. Oops, screwed up on the root part. Shouldn't have done that. This record that I've been keeping, I got it. I got to reset it. Go away, record. I need you out of there. I wasn't patient enough. I wasn't kind enough. Some days you need a reset. Go, reset. Get up, spend some time with the Lord, write down some ideas, some thoughts, some scripture, something good, commit it to paper, or as I do, load up the computer with a constant amount of the love of God. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Just keep looking into it. You know what? You're on the computer. Here's an idea. Google scriptures about love. Yeah, that'll keep you busy. Scriptures about faith. Scriptures about fill in the blank. What do you need? Healing. Loneliness. I mean, and they just will inundate you with good ideas, incredible scriptures. I must ponder on any given morning, 25, 50, sometimes more scriptures. Absolutely looking for something to share, but also I'm pondering on these thoughts because they're inundating me. It's the way we spend our time. It's amazing what it'll do for you. Then get out and practice it. Some days will be great. I love the day I practice and it goes well. Some days will be less than great. Some days will be beastly. Wow. This is not working out at all how I thought. Remember this, tomorrow will be a new day. A day to express love with words, with actions, with generosity. Focus on Jesus. Let him lead. Desire to experience love. Man, it's so important. I know it sounds silly, but desire to experience love. Desire not to be tough. Desire to be vulnerable. Desire to allow your heart to be broken. Desire all that. Watch what happens. It might get bruised again a little bit, but it's also going to get so molded into the presence of the Lord. It's just going to overwhelm you at times because that's what he does. He abides in love. God is love. If you want to experience God, you have to be vulnerable and say, yes, Lord, even though this person might hurt me or that person, you know what? I'm going to try not to be around them because they just crush me all the time. But you know what, God, I want your love and I want to be sought. I desire love. You have to learn how to desire love. Remain open to the process of how God is wanting to free you of past hurts and look forward to what he is showing you. That's so important. I'm speaking from my heart on this. I've done this. This is a very long and hard and and difficult process for me. Oh my goodness. If you knew, it's just, and it's ongoing, but boy, a lot of the hard part is gone. So much of the incredible baggage is gone. Yeah, I still occasionally, oh, here comes that trailer again. You got to disconnect that thing. It's showing up, but I recognize it more because what I want is I want to be patient. I want to be kind. I don't want to be jealous or boastful or proud. Touching one person with the love of Jesus each day will start to add up in your life. One person. Ideally, not the same person. No, it's okay but you can't really count them again. Got to find somebody new. You can touch somebody at a grocery store, at work. You can touch somebody as you're walking down the street. It's amazing that when you walk by somebody, you drop the kids off at school, right? The moms, the dads, oh my goodness. I remember all those years, and sometimes you're just going, whoa, there's something going on there. They had a rough morning, but a kind word, a friendly smile, a desire that God, the God that is in me, Lord, there's one. Touch him with something, and maybe you'll smile, or maybe you'll say something, or maybe they'll say something to you, and you don't know where it'll go, but God will impact them because you desire it, because that's who he is. It's reckless. His love is reckless. It doesn't stop. It just keeps growing and imploding all over the place and hitting and impacting, and as you desire that, it's amazing. Imagine Paul, Moses, or some of the other individuals who wrote these wonderful words of Scripture. They had to push past earthly restraints and desire to undergo the transformation of this type of love, what it creates. They had to. It didn't just happen. You don't just read these stories about Joseph in the Bible. Oh, that's pretty cool. David. Oh, yeah. Oh, if I only could have been David. Man, he had to push through so much stuff. All those years by himself on the hillside. Oh, my goodness. There's all these times. Moses, 80 years a reject. You know, I mean, it's incredible what they pushed through. But they pushed through desiring God. And if you desire God, you're desiring love. You can't desire God and not desire love. It's impossible. You're desiring the wrong God. You're desiring the God who supplies, not the God who loves. When you desire the God who loves, he'll supply. It's the way it works. If you're looking for his hand, yeah, you might get it. But boy, if you're looking for the heart of God in your life, you will get that and so much stuff that's going to get sanded off. Some of it's going to be a little hard and harsh, but boy, that's where you just press in all the more and just say, God, I need your love. I need your love. I've tried everything. I'm lost without it. This person really hurt me, Lord. This person, you deal with them. I can't. But I need you. I remind you, this is the very love that hung on the cross. It's the very love that hung on the cross. We're going to have a time of communion. I'm going to sign off now, and Dan will do communion with us here. So give me just a moment. Thank you for tuning in.